WTF Nation Radio
is in the house.
Freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
It's 3 a.m. and the sirens are going off. Another rocket attack. I've got my boots and got my ammo in my 50-pound sack. A 100 boys headed to war in this world unknown. The only peace of mind I've got are these letters from home. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here. Out here in Kandahar. Well, most of us, we made it home, but we never came back. When we close our eyes at night, we hear a rocket attack. I've tried to talk and tell you about it, but it ain't the same. All these thoughts that run through my head, well, they can't be tamed. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here. Out here in Kandahar. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here. We ain't far from Kandahar.
Somebody who's never been around a horse who's scared.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you ever have one of those moments where you think, how the hell did I get here? Jeez, what happened to me? I was ruling the galaxy, had a cherry new battle station. I mean, this place had an omelet bar, a straight-up omelet bar. And now look, my former interns tossing me down a bottomless freaking pit. You know, come to think of it, my whole life has been a series of what the moments. That was my out.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I looked my woman in the eye sockets. I told her straight out. I just said it, man. I said it. I said, bitch, I'm the man of the house.
Yeah, you said bitch, though. You called your wife a bitch.
Yeah.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Oh, man. Break him off some. Yeah. Broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence. This 28 September.
It's almost done.
Almost done. In the year of the dumpster fire, 2020.
We're that much closer to 2021.
We are that much close. That's right. That is right, Pooks. Taxation is theft. Man, holy crap. Except I paid more tax. I paid more in child support than the president's paid in taxes. Can we talk shit? Is that cool? Is anybody gonna get mad if we talk some shit like that? Is it? I don't want all the fucking trumpanistas to come after me and shit just for making a joke. Because, you know, we joke about everybody.
Not allowed to joke.
We're not allowed to joke.
No joking.
Yeah. I'm your host, Ice, and in the gunner seat, of course, is Flash. Oh man!
Just watch. This will now start the Democrats going. We need to finally fix the tax code, because if the president, before he was president,
right,
can make so much money and do so many tax deal so many business deals and everything, only pay $750 in taxes.
I'd say he did to get.
There's something wrong with the code. I'm not mad at folks that play by the rules. And by the IRS tax code rules, which is like a fucking book. Hey, that's why you hire accountants, to save you as much money as possible, to pay the government as little as possible.
Right.
So I am mad at the tax code that's just been sitting there that nobody wants to touch.
Yeah. Look, for those of you that I know, we have audience members that likes to use that are from that area. They're from fucking New York. They know more intimately about his dealings as far as what he's done for taxes and not. He's had tax issues since a few years back. I mean, every time we talked about his or he would be on TV doing interviews, he'd always have tax issues. It was almost like, but then again, every single other politician, I guarantee, are not doing whatever they can say to pay tax. And I don't know what they're doing to pay taxes. I'm just saying. But I just know for a fact that there was a court order that was not authorized for anybody to have opened up his fucking tax records. And then all of a sudden the New York Times now has, the New York Times, right? They now have their tax records.
New York Times broke the story.
They broke the story, right? So that his whole tax records were not supposed to have been released to begin with. There was a court order done. Because when he was trying to run for office. And this is the thing that everyone's like, oh, well, see, it was legally obtained, and it was legally obtained. Hey, you know what? I had I had classified stuff, and I had access to classified stuff. It was legally obtained, but that they give me the right to just leak it out, right? Could I have done that? Do you think I'd have been in trouble, or something would have happened to me if I had items that were legally obtained and I was able to throw that shit out? There was a court order against it. I mean, Pelosi had the ass back in 2016 about his tax records being, to a federal judge said, nah, we're not going to fucking do it. Well, then when questioned about it, she said, I'm not running for president. He is. So if we're talking about a federal, I think everybody needs to shut their holes real quick and let all the dust, because there's a lot of dust settling right now. I've been now watching stories on both sides, on the fucking all the way to the right and all the way to the left, and I have seen it. Just wait a few minutes. What's that?
Nothing. I'm being
no, yeah. Well, you're doing that dance. No, I literally was just sitting there watching, and okay, look, I'm guarantee it. There's going to be something that's going to fucking come up, and I'm thinking, on my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, we covered this a long time ago on the Monday edition, that there was an issue where the Democrats were trying to get his taxes in a federal judge block. I remember we were talking about this a while back, so I'm thinking, let me go in the Googleizer, let me find out, and I was like, oh shit, okay, well, those tax records for that period of time when he was running for office was illegally was blocked. So that became an issue. Now, I'll be honest with you, being the fact that I hate paying taxes anyways. Taxation is theft. Taxation is theft is right. We had Spike Cohn on here shooting the shit about their tax plans for the Libertarian Party for running for office. Shout out to Spike. How y'all doing? So again, why would you have the ass? You know what I'm saying? If you think about this, if you lost a bunch of money and you're having all this back, who is not in debt? I would. You kind of think, okay, damn, you try to find out. There should be members of Congress should be trying to find out his secret because on how not to pay taxes, if that's what I'm saying. Because how anybody running for office and has sat in office for, I don't know, for several decades and is now multimillionaires, I don't understand that either. So if you want to go back and forth with that, it's just an argument that he's always had tax decisions to begin with. It's not. Everyone's going to say, well, it's kind of fucking convenient that this shit came up, like, I don't know, weeks before the election, right?
Well, does this not remind you of what happened weeks before the election last time?
Well, the weeks before the election last time, that was when Hillary had her shit. That's when they released a lot of information with Hillary.
Except I think the difference is opening up an FBI investigation opposed to, okay, so the man paid like less than I've paid for like a hotel for like 3 nights. Like many of you, less than you paid in child support for like 2 months or so. I mean,
I know what you're talking about.
I can get an old car for about the same that he paid in taxes, and I don't know if what the Democrats I don't understand. I don't know what releasing that or why the Democrats have been pushing so hard. Like, I don't care.
Being a as I tell Kaz, a custody enthusiast and child support. A master of child support in its rolling up and all that. I
have an office at this point.
This is not a. I'm trying to
find. It pisses me off that he's only. I mean, granted,
right?
For other countries, he's paying over $100K no matter where he's at. But it pisses me off that this is, and again, this goes back to my original thing. This is why the tax code needs to be like. Remember Herman Cain? Remember that crazy bastard that came on there? I believe he died.
I was about to say, dude, he died, man. He died at Rona.
He was a crazy bastard though, and he had his plan. Because it was like 888 or 555 or some shit like that.
Right.
But it was simple. It was super simple, so no one could like find a million loopholes to skirt him. So again, I'm not mad. He probably paid out the ass to have accountants find every loophole to donate money and tax shelter this and do that. I don't play. It's like, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Right. Well, so you're talking about
rules.
Right.
That are set up where we get boned in the butt.
Right. Well, his plan was the 999 plan. That's what
there
it was.
Go.
It was the 999.
You know what? I could dig that.
No, because we were simple. Right because we were going off on it and shooting the shit and wife number 4 narcissist is going to win. That's right. You totally remember the freaking trivia question. So anyways, his plan was, it was, when it was introduced, it was a replacement of all the taxes plus the payroll tax. And then, the capital gains tax, estate tax with a 9% personal income tax, 9% federal tax, and a 9% corporate tax. He was also gonna. I think he was trying to propose maybe what was it, a flat tax too? I can't remember what it was, but he was going in depth in that. So I didn't really see a problem with that kind of tax stuff. I mean, I'll be honest with you. People's got to still get fucking paid. A lot of fucking money's got to get appropriated to ensure that individuals. You cannot be 100% fucking, because we're already being taxed enough. You cannot be 100% like straight up. No, nobody can pay no taxes. Because things do have to get paid for. Like, for instance, there are roads and highways in certain cities that individuals who have to pay an exorbitant amount of property taxes, individuals have to pay an exorbitant amount of vehicle taxes, you still don't see them getting paid.
I fucking hate property taxes. I think it's the biggest fucking crock ever.
The ad valorem tax and stuff like that. It really.
I own a boat. Hey, that's a great boat you have there.
Right.
Give me $20.
Yeah, that's a great boat. Yeah. Hey, well, what about a
My
dog?
kids couldn't get away with saying shit like that.
Right.
The government shouldn't, but oh wait, it does.
Right.
And I get a nice. Oh, you have to pay personal property tax on that car that you bought and you're paying for.
Yeah. No, those states. Yeah.
We're going to make it so you can't register it because. Give me my money.
Exactly. Those are states that are out there like that. That you pay the tax when you purchase the vehicle, and then they have the excise / added value tax of what they appraise the value of the vehicle for before you could get it inspected. I think the inspections are a fucking joke, anyways. Is that the whole thing is gained to where you're getting triple and quadruple tax just on getting one vehicle, and roads are still messed up. Traffic lights are still messed
up. Almost have to keep having old vehicles because
exactly.
you can't afford the personal property tax on it.
Right.
And Cause is right. We don't know exactly what's set up and everything like that. Apparently, if the IRS isn't auditing his ass or he's not under federal indictment for it, he must be playing within the rules. So it's not illegal. It is just kind of shitty that they put it out there. But this is politics. If Comey's going to drop that, we're going to reopen the case in Hillary, which I'm pretty sure had like zero effect on the. But they got to give something. Oh my God! They said they were going to do their job, and I lost the presidency.
And you think about that. We think about that too. That's a good point. You bring up a good point. Don't you think that it'd been like a big audit? Look, don't you think the IRS, as much as everyone talks about the deep state and everyone talks about how much the government hates Trump or whatever.
The outrage. Your president only pays $750 in taxes. Be mad.
But no, but it's not. But it's not the government. But Flash, it's not the government that's making the issue. You know what I mean? It's everybody else. It's the government is not making any issues whatsoever. Char says that escort Joe Jorgensen to the debate stage.
There's only certain people in the government that are making us think over this taxes.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Just a couple of people. A couple of people. I shouldn't say a couple of people. I would say there are some individuals.
Big number. They make up, at least half of Congress and half the House.
His opponents, yes. His opponents in the House and the Senate, and everybody who cries about that, about what he's not paid or whatever. I honestly, if you are a sitting member in Congress, and you're shooting holes into the president about him not paying, $700, he only paid $700 a month for taxes, I suggest you shut your holes because you are multimillionaires, almost billionaires, sitting in office yourselves when you've started off with nothing. So I would that kind of argument right there is really. I don't know. It's counterproductive. I remember Marty was saying the last time we were talking about the politics of how things are going to be going once, because we even suggested, we even discussed the vitriol drama that's going back and forth with the way the president's being criticized. Now let's get into freaking RBG's death. And now we have a Supreme Court nominee, right? So, remember
we have officially, as of Saturday afternoon, late in midday, like about 4:00 Saturday afternoon, we have an official nominee for the Supreme Court, which is kind of crazy.
Well,
but I called it. I called it.
You did. No, you did. Yeah, but we also said that the pendulum's going to swing back. Yep. So the pendulum's going to swing back, and people are going to realize this is what happened when he'll hold a grudge. You think he's petty enough to do that? To have done it? Fuck yeah, hell yeah. You think there'd have been a little bit of pettiness in the president's mind? You think they'd have been like, oh shit, we shouldn't have been mean to him, and all this bipartisanship and all this stuff that they said they were going to do. Now you're seeing what happens when they don't do it. Now the president's to say, you know what? Think about this. Had I wouldn't say had they treated him with respect. It's fine to have a good debate, but the way everyone's calling each other fucking monsters and shit like that, and the way they've been going off, then he appoints a female nominee. Then what? Well, wait. Not only is she a female nominee, but she has children. She has a family. I would not have expected anybody to attack her. And then the next thing you know, people are already hating on her for adopting kids.
I mean, they're practically making Handmaid's Tale
references when the writers of the Handmaid's Tale said specifically that has no fucking connection. This has no. Why are you guys even doing that? Why are you guys bringing in this shit? So her being appointed, what it is that now it's going to be freaking. Yeah, it's your fault. This is what you get. You could have. I think this could have been staved off. I think he would have been discussed and made to look, because that's the way he is. You just have to alter-cast how he is. Hey, you know what would be a good idea? It would make you look good if you do this, this, and this. Bam, there you go. He would. That's how you. That's the bipartisanship. That's the negotiations back and forth. But he nominated Amy Coney Barrett, who clerked for Anthony Scalia. Now everybody else is like, oh, well, okay, well, whatever. That's there you go. I guess we're good to go. I guess we can go ahead and go ahead and point her, because why at this point, if there's a chance that I might lose the election, you want to talk about just letting shit fucking burn.
The Republicans are like, hey, we're gonna play the long game.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they were gonna do it regardless. I mean, no one's gonna pass the opportunity. The big difference. Yes, I've been lots of friends and family like, it's not fair. I'm like, yes, but are they legally allowed to? Yes. Do they control the Senate? Yes. Well, they can do what the fuck they want, can't they?
Right.
Like, but it's not fair. I'm like, I get it, but feelings don't and I'm not a your feelings don't matter kind of like vet bro type thing.
It almost
but
sounded like
in this case, your feelings don't matter. It's gonna happen. Like the Senate, unless like a bunch of people, and then Susan Collins even came out and said, No, I just said I don't think we should go forward with the nominee. I didn't say I wasn't going to vote.
Right.
So Chuck Schumer even just lost another one, so he still would need.
Oh, he wouldn't even let. Well, Chuck Schumer wouldn't let the announce. It's like minutes after her after RBG's death, Ruth Bader Ginsburg death. He just said nope, shouldn't do it. And Marty says, "Have you seen the beliefs on her on women's rights?" I don't. What is her record on it? What is her bench on it?
So let's talk about her. She's an incredibly smart woman. She's got extensive experience as a professor and litigator, record of academic successes, outstanding judicial record. I mean, no one, no matter which side they are going to pick people who aren't, the top of their class. I mean, even Garland, who was Obama's nominee. Joe, because the Republicans had control of the Senate, there's your difference. Like, I get it, but no one cares. There's nothing that says in the Constitution when nominating and confirming Supreme Court justice that it has to be fair. It just has to abide by the rules. And guess what? The Senate is controlled by the Republicans. And yes, they did. Was it kind of douchey? Yes, considering Scalia did die earlier in the year, and they had plenty of time, and that was kind of bullshit. Like, if the Republicans want to run this, then they're going to run it. So you can just go and take a big old sad sandwich and whatnot. Anyways, but even Garland, who was Obama's pick, was extremely smart, was extremely successful, had been in high profile cases. No one who gets the Supreme Court. There's no Ivanka Trump going to be Supreme Court, or Ted Cruz or something. Even though I did hear Ted Cruz's name and it gave a shudder.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'm about to say Ted Cruz has been in there. Ugh.
I know. Oh God!
I'd have been like, no.
That'd be like abandoned ship.
I'd have been like, Ted Cruz, come on, man, really?
Barrett is currently serving as the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals. Apparently, she had her confirmation for that was pretty testy, and mostly was confirmed mostly over bipartisan lines. But she did have she did have a little bit of bipartisan support, but not a lot. Some of the big cases that come up, yes, women's rights are one of those. She did write a dissent to a case. I think it was about abortion rights. She is pro-gun, But she's also, one thing that's kicker is there was a case that she was on that I guess the Court of Appeals was rolling through about a police officer who was being sued but wanted to use his what do you call it, get out of jail free card thing, and she pretty much went, no, you're still, this is still happening.
Right.
So she's tough on law, she's fair, tough or fair or whatever you want to say on law enforcement. So it's going to speak. She's got a wide thing. I know for the far left, the women's rights is the biggest issue. She is Catholic. So Catholics and abortions don't mix very well.
No, they don't. But the majority of the bench is predominantly Catholic, anyways, right? I mean, they're
sure, actually.
I mean, they're mostly Catholic to begin with, so it's not really qualified immunity. Thanks, Pooks. That's what it was. That's why he tried to use qualified immunity, and she's like, nah.
And she went, nah, bro.
No, bro. You're getting busted.
That's gonna win a little bit of favor, but it's the Democrats are gonna do their thing,
right?
So she graduated from Notre Dame's law school. She is according to people at the White House a model of fair, impartial, and symptomatic. She's a symptomatic judge. She was appointed by Chief Justice John Roberts to sit on the advisory committee on the federal rules and appellate procedure, where she served from 2010 to 2016. After graduating from law school, she clerked for, I think we talked about the Lawrence Silberman, and then former Supreme Court Justice Anthony Scalia. She's worked for more than 15 years in academia, shaping the next generation. She's done all kind. I mean, she's got a very proven record. It's just a matter of, let's see. See if I can find something more on her record.
Right. I don't really see anything though that stands out. That's like shocking. I have not seen anything that's mostly shocking. The current makeup of the Supreme Court is predominantly Jewish and Catholic, so I have not seen anything so far that has had the Supreme Court go, oh, I'm not seeing Roe v. Wade repealed. I'm not seeing. Now that they've had said that she's done she's against the Affordable Care Act. I think she's openly said that. Is that the case? Has she said? I know there's some dissensions that she said about it. But I don't want to freaking her biggest obstacle is going to be her belief in the Catholic cult. Man, dude, so you're calling it a cult?
So
wow.
There is. I've read this part. Apparently, she's part of like a subsect where, if you believe what has been written, it is kind of like a women know their place. They are second to the man type of thing. At least that's kind of what I got from it. So let's. It's a little weird, but until I'm. On that note, though, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, did say that pretty much her religion was she said doesn't matter. Not Opus Dei.
Opus Dei.
That's a good one. Thank you, Joe. I needed that. But she did say that like her kids and her religion have like nothing to do with this, and I think it's smart because I think if they went, she doesn't have what Kavanaugh had in a big old semi-red flag, which was women going, he's a dirty fucker. She doesn't have that, and unless somebody comes forward with some crazy allegations, the biggest thing really against her, besides stuff she's decided, is the fact that she is her religious preferences. But going after that probably would hurt the Democrats more than hurt the nominee. So I think that's why Nancy Pelosi is going, we're not going to mention it. Let's see. So let's talk a little bit about her, some of the stuff she's done. So she wrote an opinion for the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals that showed legal craftsmanship and sensitivity. It was Doe versus Purdue University. But this was her most influential decision, Doe versus Purdue University, on the rights of college students accused of sexual assault. The case involved a male student who was suspended from school and expelled from ROTC based on his girlfriend's accusations that he had groped her while she slept. Okay. He disputed the charge. My wife would get me in trouble so quickly. He disputed the charge, but the university refused to disclose the evidence against him to consider they're going to expel him, and they had evidence to expel him and to interview witnesses. Even the accuser, whose account is deemed more credible than his, All of this was fundamentally unfair, Judge Barrett concluded, falling short of what, quote, short of what even a high school must provide to provide to a student facing a day-long suspension. The male student alleged that the university titled the process against men accused of sexual assault to comply with the since-receded U.S. Education Department guidance and thereby discriminating against him on the basis of sex in violation of Title 9. Judge Barrett's decision, joined by 2 other female judges, allowed the claim to go forward. Let's see what else. That's a big one. Here we go. In U.S. versus Watson in 2018, a Fourth Amendment case, the court considered whether and this is one I think we were talking about,
right?
Whether police had reasonable suspicion to block a parked car based on anonymous reports that boys were playing with guns nearby. Judge Barrett, writing for an unanimous panel, concluded they didn't, because Indiana law permit carrying a firearm in public without a license. That tip didn't create a reasonable suspicion of a crime, even if it might have been prudent for the police to visit and screen and speak to those involved voluntarily. Judge Barrett rejected out of hand the government's argument that more forceful response could have been justified based on the locale. Quote, people who live in rough neighborhoods may want and in many situations may carry guns for protection. They should not be subject to more intrusive police practices than those in wealthy neighborhoods. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, that is. That's pretty interesting. She has, again.
Oh, and just because I like citing sources, this is coming from the Washington Journal. A lot. So one more. It is Cook County versus Wolf in 2020. She dissented from a panel opinion blocking the Trump administration's public charge rule, which restricts admission of aliens likely to depend on public benefit. Her dissent was vindicated when ruling against the administration's policy preventing immigration judges from administratively closing and thereby delaying deportation cases. While 2 opinions differ in their bottom line results, what they share in common is, the fact that they are faithful to statutory analysis, following the example of Justice Anthony Scalia from, who she clerked for. So those are just, a couple of cases that come up. A lot of this information comes from David Rinkin and Andrew Grossman, who it's an opinion piece for the Washington Journal, but I did cross-section a lot of those court cases, which is pretty cool. So she's not as straight, like super conservative, like I think a lot of people want to be, but I think she's conservative on the issues that I think get under the skin of liberal and Democrats.
Well, right before she was nominated, it was released that she had done a paper. And she did an essay about the Affordable Care Act, criticizing it.
Joe, Roman noodles are hard. I never studied those, so
I don't know.
Once it gets up to 10, I'm kind of screwed. I'm looking at it going, fingers and toes.
In the essay that was published by by a journal of Notre Dame Law School, where she was a professor, Barrett argues that judges should respect the text of laws and contends that Chief Justice John G. Roberts, who wrote the majority opinion for the first time, the Supreme Court upheld the health care law, quote, push the Affordable Care Act beyond its plausible meaning to save the statute, unquote. So this is from the Washington Post, stating that, quote, it represented a striking departure from the views of the justice she would succeed if confirmed by the Senate, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She's not the same. Stop. Everyone is their own legend in their own way. So to kind of say that, you know what I mean? It's almost like it's not a good idea to do that. So everyone's already saying that. They also say that she has a vivid history of opposing abortion and an allegiance to a legal theory known as originalism. The idea that courts should stick to the meaning of the Constitution intended by the nation's founders, and an inheritance from the late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia, from who she clerked. Again, that another more Scalia drops. But again, these confirmation hearings, I think, hopefully, I'm gonna say right now, the way she's treating it, I'm gonna, since you made a claim that pretty much came true on this, I'm gonna make another claim. We're pretty good. We haven't had anything debunked yet from some of our predictions. So WTF Nation prediction was that how she is treated during these confirmation hearings is how the election is going to turn out. Meaning, if they go after her, Americans are going to remember that, and they're just going to vote Trump, no matter what, out of spite, just because they're the way that she's treated. That's just me. I personally hope they don't do that, because that's kind of messed up. I mean, she's a freaking dude. She's a studette in the legal field, man. It's not like we're someone who doesn't know who she's talking about, but there's going to be some opinions to it. We'll see what happens.
Well, Planned Parenthood's going after her. They even though I haven't seen, like, I'm still looking through to find more of her cases, because I think it's interesting. Let's see. Apparently people think that they're Amy Coney Barrett's going to help repeal Roe versus Wade, and the president of Planned Parenthood Action Fund, the political arm of the organization, said that nominating her would constitute a particular insult to the legacy of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Quote, Barrett's history of hostility towards reproductive health and rights, expanded healthcare access, and more demonstrate that she will put Justice Ginsburg's long record of ensuring that everyone receives equal justice under the law is at risk, says the Planned Parenthood president Alex McGill Johnson, which he said in a statement. So she's gonna have a fight. I expect to see a lot more. You're gonna see a lot more ads and stuff. But I mean, the Democrats are already kind of the Democrats are already showing their straight up, like, we don't even want part of this. There's 2 Democrats who are on that Senate committee that's going for the hearing that won't even meet. I think Bloomberg is one of them.
Right, Blumenthal too. Well,
Blumenthal, there we go.
Yeah, they're not going to vote. No. We think it's illegitimate. What are you talking? There's nothing like. Even Wolf Blitzer called his ass out. Said there's nothing. What do you mean illegitimate? Where does it say in the Constitution where it's illegitimate? You got to follow the process, man. Fuck.
I mean, yes. Is it kind of shitty that everyone's flip flopping? Yep. I had a conversation. Actually, I was having a conversation with my father over the weekend because he was laughing about it. I said, "Is it shitty?" Yeah, because considering the stink they made for about 3/4 of 2016.
Oh my God, I know.
Is it wrong though? Not according to the law. It's the privilege of. What is it? You hear this all the time. Elections have consequences. Well, here's one consequence is that they still held this. They actually expanded a couple of seats in the Senate over the last election cycle. So the margin of error is a little bit bigger, and unless something comes out where she's, it's going to happen, you've seen this. Like, I was listening to political news, traveling around this weekend, and one of the things they pretty much said was, we can't do anything about it. I forget which Democrat it was. He said, but I know it was a he. He said, we can't do anything about it. The only thing we can do is implore the American people to call their senators and tell them to have a backbone and stuff like that. Like, that's it. Like, they know there's nothing that's going to stop this. The Republicans are lockstepped on this. Even Mitt Romney, who loves spoiling, throwing anything at Trump's parade, is even, lockstep with the party, and it's not even going to jump out, partly because he knows election stuff is coming up too and does not want to get kicked out of his own state, because be surprised if people in Utah are getting very pro-Trump.
This started I was about to say, this started to get pro-Trump because Romney's like, no, because he tried to, he voted him for impeachment. Everyone's asking where that came from. The quote, election has consequences. It's a political way for winners to tell losers, tough luck, you lost, get over it. And that was President Obama when he said that during a meeting with congressional Republicans about his economic proposals. That's when it was. That's when he says, basically, in case there's any doubt, I won.
How everything kind of like makes its way around. But,
right.
I mean, the Democrats were on the other side. They're going, no, you shouldn't. No, you should. No, or yes, we should. Yes, we should. Yes, we should. And then this kind of comes around and everyone just straight up flip-flops. I'm like, it's ridiculous. I mean, all y'all need to get your heads out your asses. But with that being said, is it shitty? Yes. Are they legally allowed to? Hell yeah, they are. They can do whatever the hell they want. They're in charge.
I was about to say,
the Democrats have to sit there and they're going to make their statements and say, guarantee every opening statement. Starting, it's supposed to start, I believe, October. Oh wait, I do have an article on that.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
So let's talk about the process real quick. President on Saturday, he announced the kicking off of one of the craziest. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't think this will be as crazy as Kavanaugh, but it's still going to be kind of crazy considering they're playing out a bitterly divided Senate. Senate Republicans, who have the majority in the upper chamber, have signaled plans to quickly move and take up nominations in midst of election season. Because what they're trying to do is get everything done by November 3rd. Could they roll afterwards? Yes. I mean, everyone's still going to be in office. And McConnell's already told all the Republicans, stay in D.C. You're going to be needed. But the timeline right now leaves no room for error. So this will be interesting. In contrast, a Senate Republican Judiciary Committee memo from 2005 obtained by CNN showed preparations for a far lengthier timeline between 10 and 12 weeks from the Senate. That consisted of typically a time frame of roughly 2 to 3 months of Senate confirmation and Supreme Court nominees. A push to confirm a high court justice with only 38 days until the president election would put the Senate on track for one of the quickest confirmations in modern history. Crazy.
Yeah, I think it'll be quick because, well, again, going back to what I was saying, that they would be stupid to sit there and try to bring some shit up or have it attacked because, and I have a feeling nobody expected Kavanaugh to lash out the way he did. They expected him to kind of like, ha ha ha, yeah, whatever. And then once he started lashing out,
I like beer.
Yeah. And then once he started lashing out, everyone was like, oh shit. So I would be careful. I would exercise caution. Marty says that it's shitty to establishes a new standard in which people are the ones that lose. It does because
they keep setting the standard every time. Wasn't the standard last time? Democrats, you should always, a president should always do it. Republicans, no. Now they flip. So who cares? Everyone flipped. It's not like the Democrats are still going, well, you shouldn't, but it is your duty, so go forward.
Right.
It's not like anyone is keeping the moral high ground. Everyone flip-flops.
Right.
So
Cause has a point that is it possible that Trump loses the election, and the new justice gets confirmed on the 5th of November?
He's still president until January.
Yeah, he's still president until January.
Usually that last couple of months when a president's leaving, that's when you see a lot of pardons.
Yeah.
A lot of little things
Pardoning
happen.
Everybody, fucking having.
But yeah, technically, until mid-January, President Trump will still be the president, whether he wins or loses. So yeah, they could, but I think they also want to do this for a political point. So right now, multiple sources have told CNN that both the White House and Lindsey Graham are targeting the week of October 12th for the nominee confirmation hearing that would allow for a confirmation vote by October 29th, hitting a pre-election timeline that the White House and congressional Republicans are,
right.
Really getting on.
You know what? Check this out, though. And that's a good point, too, you bring that up.
Term limits for who, Joe?
Marty, I was about to say, Marty said term limits for who? Because the Democrats just introduced a bill 3 days ago setting term limits for Supreme Court justices. I have a fucking feeling that the term limits are being set for the wrong fucking people right now that they're going after. It should be Congress.
And don't worry, because the Democrats also want to expand the Supreme Court because...
Yeah, I tell you what, let it happen. I'm telling you,
we have 50 Supreme Court, 51.
This is the same.
Justices.
These are the same individuals that would, if they were in the army, would wonder why fucking people at Fort Hood are having issues and shit, and soldiers are offing themselves during COVID, which we're going to talk about during Sergeant's time. And wondering why there's a fucking problem because they're doing the shit the old way. I'm telling you right now, our Congress, as it stands right now, fucking blows. The way it's been running, it's always been like that. The whole fucking system is set up the way it's just. If there's anything else that needs to be an introduction of a bill, it should be for members of Congress, not the Supreme Court. You're running down a dangerous path when you start doing like that because then what's next? That means that the next president can say, the next president that they like, and somebody in Congress doesn't fucking like it, then they're going to say, no, let's extend the term of this president because we don't want him to be like Trump. I guarantee it. That's what's going to be used. It's going to happen. No. If there's anybody that needs a term limit, it's fucking Congress. If you're not satisfactorily done anything, in some jobs you actually have to do something and progress. Even in the military, you have to do certain things. that if you don't do it by a specific time, then you have failed in that mission, right? The same thing with Congress. What the hell have they done? I've not seen anything but bitch, moan, and complain this whole time he's been in office. All that rhetoric of, we go low, we go high, and kick them when they're down, and all this other shit. This is exactly what. This is why I guarantee it. Everyone's going to be voting for freaking Joe Jorgensen or Trump because of this bullshit right here. Just by watching this right here, they don't like the result of what's happening because of the
change the rules.
Yeah, because exactly. This is not the Kobe.
Hillary Clinton lost. Yeah. We must get rid of the Electoral College, even though it's been fine all this time.
Exactly. Oh, this is the Kobayashi Maru in Star Trek. We're gonna change the test because we don't like it now.
Change everything. I wish I had that ideology. It's like, don't like it, change the rules. Like I get it for to a sense. It's like you don't like don't like the cars life gave you, throw it back at life and say deal me again. Like rock and roll, but it doesn't work that way.
No.
Like think about Democrats wanted to get rid of the Electoral College. They want term limits for the Supreme Court, and they also want to expand the Supreme Court. So every time they lose, they want to just change the scenario where
right.
they
exactly
could eventually win. What, we're going to open up 4 seats?
No, yeah.
Fill them all if Joe Biden wins.
Right? Yeah, because then it'll make sense. See, that's the rhetoric that'll push on the American people. They'll make sense. It'll make sense. Because again, he's going.
It's only fair. It's been working for us for over 200 years.
It's only fair. I hate that fucking term. It's only fair. Hey, what is the fucking Constitution? What does it legally say we could do? It's only fair.
I don't think it was very fair when they pushed through the Affordable Care Act that said, hey, either you have to get insurance or we're gonna send you a bill that's going to be about as much as insurance.
Expert action badge.
There's lots of things that I don't think are fair that still got pushed through during certain eras. Hell, there's shit that's being pushed through now that I don't think is fair.
Right.
But hey, fuck us, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Let's change it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, he might win. Oh, no, can't have that. We need to have term limits on. Are you kidding? You literally are disrespect. You're disrespecting RBG already right there by saying that. She lived such a long life. I kind of think they already knew what was going to happen during they knew she was about ready to pass because they were about ready to run all this shit at the same time. Marty's right. Congress is the only job. You go into civil servant and come out a millionaire. Shit, we need to do that.
I know. I think we should run.
Run
for Congress or something. Hell, Joe Biden's been in since like the 1970s.
I don't think anybody vote for me.
He's not going to be president. He'll fix everything.
I have too many I have too many skeletons in my graveyard. No, too many fucking acreage of skeleton.
So yeah. So long and short of it, they still can vote to confirm the Supreme Court justice, but they want to do it before the election because it is presidential points. And with the debate coming up very soon,
tomorrow,
they're gonna. That's already tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
There's baseball on tomorrow.
Tomorrow. You know what? Hey, screw that. I don't want to hear about that. The debate and baseball is no big deal. Tomorrow is freaking Clark Gregg, Agent Phil Coulson from the Avengers and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He is coming on tomorrow. Tomorrow on WTF Nation Radio. U.S. Army WTF Moments is inviting him. We had to take out. We always joke around with our Hydra shit. We had to take all our Hydra shit down. We had to clean up the jock.
You don't want to give him any like.
Yeah, I don't want to give him any ideas and shit, man. Yeah, freaking the boss is like, you really got him on here, huh? Okay, well I guess we got to clean up the jock. Shit. Joke. We can't make Hydra jokes anymore and shit.
Detail.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone right now we're pumped to have freaking Clark Gregg. Dude, here's my thing. I'll be honest with you. Let's talk about that. Tomorrow is the debate at God. Tomorrow's at 9:00 too. It's at 9:00. God, tomorrow. Okay, so here
I might have to have 3 screens on it. I know we're in the top hour. I do have all the stuff you're going to need to know for the debate, so we can kick off the next hour.
As a matter of fact, if you go to Pop Culture Warrior or you go onto one of the links right now, if you see it, go ahead and go to.
He even retweeted us, that badass.
He did. He retweeted us. That's what I'm talking. Thank you, Clark Gregg. We totally appreciate it. We are big fans. We always talk. When the Avengers and all this other stuff came out, we were literally keeping everybody at bay on the spoilers, and we were talking about that stuff. But this is awesome.
Full disclosure, when he got in the Avengers, the first time I saw, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Because it was like I'm in charge, even though I have no superpowers and I have a gun, but I'm still in charge.
That's what I'm saying. It means anybody can be in charge.
You
exactly
superhuman
that.
Freaks.
Yeah,
I'm in charge.
I'm in charge.
With my badass suit.
Right. So he's going to come on. So tomorrow is the debate at 9:00. If you go to Pop Culture Warrior, If you'll see, it's been shared already, or go to CQ Pop Culture Warrior's Twitter page, or the WTF Nation Radio Twitter. You could go on there and submit your questions. Ask some questions, because all the questions that's coming down, and we have a lot of support from a lot of other streamers and influential individuals that are pushing this out for us, to include Clark Gregg. So we totally appreciate you pushing this out, sir. I gotta call him sir, like he's in, like I'm in.
Oh my God, you called him
like
sir.
Like I'm in Shield, right? I'm an agent. Give me a badge. Just give me a badge. I will change my loyalties from Hydra to Shield. Anyways, yeah, dude. So we're pumped. So you have a choice. Tomorrow is the debate. So let's real quick talk about the debate. The debate is going to be at 9:00, and they are going to have somebody from Fox News moderate it, and they're not
Chris Wallace from
Chris
Fox
Wallace,
News.
right? They're not gonna shake hands. They're not gonna do it. They're gonna be social distance.
Oh, yeah. Totally not gonna shake hands. They weren't gonna shake hands.
They weren't gonna shake hands. Anyways, I wanted to see a fucking fight is what I want to see. But anyways, so that's what's happening right now. They're both prepping. So that's what they're saying. They're both prepping. I don't know what that means. I don't know what it is to rehearse a debate prep or something like that. But I've never done a debate.
Call it like a murder board.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we used to go when we had like interviews that we knew could possibly be contentious.
Right.
We would do it where it was 3 questions you want, 3 questions you don't want, and 3 questions they're probably going to ask, and then go from there. And then if you're feeling extra spicy, just throw in a couple of curveballs just to mix it up. But I'm sure they're doing, which I tell you what, like Joe Biden better come. Shoot, I don't want to get too much into this because we're almost at the top of the hour, and I want to.
We can continue. Yeah, we can continue. We can go ahead.
Joe Biden better come out the fucking gate with this, because I can't imagine. Of course, the president does find time to play golf, so who knows? I can't imagine. How. Hey, sir, you got 15 minutes. Let me ask you some hard questions. Try not to act like a douchebag when you're saying those. And okay, now I need you to go meet with Israel and the Arab nations who are signing like a historic peace treaty type deal, which no one else is talking about. But that's kind of a big fucking deal out there. Well, Joe Biden's just sitting there just trying not to remember. Okay, I'm right-handed. Okay, that's how it's going. Like I love it. I love the election time because you see videos that hurt go after everybody. And one of them is pretty much every old man gaff that Joe Biden's had. I'm just like, oh. So yeah, so we only got a couple of debates, unlike other election cycles that usually have more. We have 3 presidential and 1 vice president. So we have the first debate that's happening tomorrow. It's going to be Chris Wallace of Fox News. Then we have the vice president debate, who's the moderator is going to be Susan Page from USA Today. I'm just saying, WTF Nation needs to be a moderator. Like we would be fine.
We offered back in the day, and we got a response back. I think it was from, I don't remember if it was from Eric Trump or Donald Trump, saying thank you for your inquiry. This is way back in the day when Red League had me do it during the 2016 elections, and thank you. And immediately I've been spammed this whole fucking time now. So since I reached out and said, hey, would you like to come on and shoot the shit and have an interview with D. Treasy? I don't know if they like us calling him D. Treasy or whatever. But that was just after he dropped the Coveve thing. We were laughing our asses off, and so ever since then we sent him a note, and I think it was Eric Trump that sent me back.
Laura Trump keeps texting me. Yeah. I told her, I said, I don't care how thirsty you are. I'm married. So the second presidential debate will be a town hall style. If you remember that, right. Last time Donald Trump kept getting behind Hillary Clinton like a shark, like dun. It was kind of.
He was like just walking behind her while he just.
Yeah, he was kind of walking behind her, and I loved his gestures. Like
they were funny as shit.
The big thing that Trump has going for him is that he does these big like obnoxious gestures. So I tend to watch when other people are answering questions. I tend to watch him to see what he will do. Right. But Steve Scully from C-SPAN is going to be moderating that one, and then the third and final presidential debate. Which remember, Nancy Pelosi doesn't think that Joe Biden should do it because the American people know what they want to know, which I think honestly is her way of saying we're trying to protect Joe Biden's ass from this. But the third president debate will be moderated by Kristen Welker of NBC News.
I think that this is where, again, you want to talk about Congress overstep. You want to talk about everyone. They're complaining about the president overstepping their bounds. We're going to go ahead and take a break right quick, and we're going to talk about how Congress is trying to overstep their bounds. So everyone, refill your glasses. Go hit the latrine. Smoke them if you got them, and we'll be right back. Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
looking up and fading out. Cirrus shapes I found blow me away. Van Allen right around, pushing through. Skin is brown. Nature has us trapped in fear, so I get lost in sound. I wonder if you'll ever know why I am the way I am. thinking, Lord.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
And we're back. Man. Part 2 of the Monday edition. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Oh, man. Broadcasting live, of course. Yeah. Run them jewels. Oh, man, I love that bass. Anyways. So, talking about Congress and overstep. Do you honestly think that there is a congressional overstepping by them saying what the president should not do? Of course I do. Just me. I think personally that when Congress said you should not be doing this, you should not be doing that, I 100% feel that Congress needs to just shut up. I mean, it's just me. I don't think that. Well, I'm just, yeah, exactly. I honestly think that they at their point when they're talking about what the president should, we're not running parliamentary. We're not running like this is there are some things that the president's authorized to do. He's authorized to fucking do shit. Congress needs to just stop talking. You run for office. That would be the time. There you go. That would be the time where he would just go ahead and say the Obama quote. I would ride that fucking Obama quote. Like, election has consequences. You lost. That all he has to do is say that. You should have ran for office then. Then it'll be you'll be all right. If you run for office, then you're good to go. But again, that's just me. You don't think they have in Flash? I mean, you don't think they're overstepping or not overstepping?
They've. Part of me thinks so, and then part of me is like, that's why we have 3 separate bodies. We have, executive branch, judicial branch, legislative branch. It gives us, there's lots of checks and balances, and sometimes you need to check the president, and then sometimes they're just, being assholes. So there's a mix. Right. So in case you're wondering what you're gonna find when you get into this debate, so they've already even have the segments, how it's gonna work.
Oh my god.
Well, not like so much like detail out. We're gonna cover this. I'm sure there's stuff they're gonna cover, but there's gonna be 6 segments for the first one, approximately about 15 minutes each. From debates.org, the moderator will open up each segment with a question, after which the candidate will have 2 minutes to respond. Candidates will then have an opportunity to respond to each other, which that will be entertaining. The moderator will use the balance of the time in the segment for deeper discussion on the topic. Sorry, Joe. Do I sound so low? I kind of burnt my tongue on some Cajun fries from Five Guys. The vice president debate will be 9 segments of 10 minutes each. The second debate, again, this is a town hall, so it's going to feature questions posed by members of the audience of, citizens of South Florida area. That'll be interesting. The candidates will have 2 minutes to respond to each question, and there will be an additional minute for the moderator to facilitate further discussion. Town hall meeting participants will be uncommitted voters. Sure, they are. Selected under the supervision of Dr. Frank Newport, senior scientist at Gallup. Hey, isn't Gallup the ones that said that Hillary Clinton was going to win by like 15 points?
Yeah, we try to get them to come on too. We try to get Peniac. Yeah, we try to get them and Peniac to come on too. I got a friend who is more likely gonna help me out to get on some of this polling stuff, because just to give an idea, not so much as saying is your polling going to be correct, but just the fact that some polling is.
Hey, will you admit that you guys were fuck off wrong?
Yeah, well, no, it's just some of
the only thing I want them to admit. After that, I just want to ask questions.
I think what it is that
we put a little too much in polls.
Yeah, I think we do. I think
people think that debates are everything is set in stone.
Yeah.
Well, which we'll get into, because there's some interesting changes in the polls. And then the third presidential debate, again, 6 segments, 15 minutes each. Now, here's some of the topics they will discuss: Trump and Biden's records, which I think that bodes better for Trump than Biden. But hey, the Supreme Court. I'm sure they're going to get the unfair, or I'm with you, Cause. Like, who really is undecided at this point? But then you never know. There might be people who are we tend to be a little more make a decision. COVID-19, the economy, race and violence in our cities, and the integration integrity of the election. Man, I see a lot of these potentially going Trump's way. I really do.
As far as what? Go ahead. Go ahead. See which one.
So granted, I'm just looking at these. I'm looking at these bills of what they can go after. Trump right now, yes, he's got some snafus. He wasn't able to do everything he wanted to with the Affordable Care Act, or repealing lots of pieces of it. Remember, there's that classic where John McCain walked up and went, "No, kill the gladiator." We miss you, John McCain.
What?
I miss that old gargly fucker. But Biden's biggest issue that people have been hitting on, that people were hitting on him big time when it came to just getting the nomination, the primary nomination, was the fact that Joe Biden was part of the writers for of the justice bill that a lot of people feel like negatively affected people of color, and essentially made it easier to take the father out of the black household. And a lot of Bernie Sanders people were hitting that on very, very,
right.
Very hard.
All of them were, dude.
Donald Trump's people will hit him up on that very hard.
Yeah,
because Donald Trump's biggest things is going after the black and brown communities, to be honest. So I think Biden doesn't have an amazing, I don't know anything else Biden's really done, and no one actually is really touted other than being the wingman for President Obama.
Bro,
and if he comes out touting President Obama's accomplishments as his own, just saying you were involved doesn't really do much for me. Trump's got a mixed bag when it comes to his record. He's got some losses, but then he's got some wins. Like North Carolina is kind of like North Korea. About the same.
About the same. It is. It's about the same sometime. North Carolina and North Korea.
North Korea is kind of like there wasn't he did something never done, but it hasn't really amounted to anything. The new NAFTA deal is a big win. The tariffs, for as long as they went with China, wasn't great, but also they've come to sort of like basis agreements, which is good. So there's wins and losses for Donald Trump, but I believe there's more wins, and I think that can do better because Donald Trump has those victories as the president, not as a senator a long time ago. Biden's records, I don't think is going to be as good, but we'll see. The Supreme Court, that'll be interesting. That's honestly going to be, well, I'm the president and I can do it, and I'm going to, and and Joe Biden going, well, the Republicans said, because I want him to be like, I didn't say it. I didn't say shit. I don't know if he said. No one's touted. Everyone's going after Mitch McConnell's words because that makes me think that Donald Trump really didn't say anything on the subject. And that's why they're not posting out his stuff.
Now, a lot of it is based on what McConnell and
I don't remember hearing anything from then nominee. Actually, I don't think he did. That point.
I think he did. I think he did talk about having a nomination back in 2012, but that was. I mean, I don't look.
If the Democrats right now aren't throwing it at his face and putting it on every outlet they can,
they can, yeah. No, but what they're doing is they're going back. They're going back to say that what he's doing as a citizen Trump, not President Trump. You know what I mean? That'd be like something me going back to a tweet that you said. Well, I should take that back. There's somebody who had a tweet. They did research and go way back, and he got hemmed up for it.
Yes, he did. So the Supreme Court, that's kind of like it's more of Joe Biden saying this is the Republican Party. They do this kind of shit, and this is the president going, hey, elections have consequences.
Right.
COVID-19, I think, is going to be the biggest issue Trump's going to have. Just because I think a lot of people are going to hit him up on the fact that they haven't worked with Democrats to come up with any more relief bills for people, which the Democrats did put out ahead of a call with the White House. They did put out a plan for a lot of money to go just like schools and people and stuff, and it's a long thing, but there's not a super much of details about it, so I won't even really mention it more than they have a bill that's a very big price tag. But I think COVID-19 is going to be the hardest for Donald Trump. I think that people are going to say that there was inaction, this, that, and the other. On the other hand, Joe Biden gets to armchair quarterback that bad boy and just be like, well, what I would have done is blah, 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 blah. And moving forward, we should do X, Y, and Z. But we all know it's one thing to, be in the thick of everything opposed to looking back going, oh, we should do this, like Captain Hindsight back there. But I think Joe Biden will end up turning that around for him. The economy, I mean, yes, we've had a downturn, but we're still like really high up there. Now, I see Biden coming out going, well, you're riding Obama's coattails and it's his policies and stuff like that have, made it the reason why we've hit record numbers. And I think Donald Trump's going to come out going, hey, we hit record numbers because I deregulated. We did this. We brought thousands of jobs back and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And he's going to say, yes, we had a downturn when COVID hit, but now we're on the upswing. So I think, we'll see how that goes. But I think Trump's got a lot to work off of it. And I don't think Joe Biden riding Obama's coattails on Obama's accomplishments is really going to cut it. Race and violence in our cities is, I think, another weak one for the president, but I think he's already been hitting on it, and I think he's going to continue saying that, well, the violence and stuff that's happening are happening because of Democratic leadership. And he's going to he's probably going to say like San Francisco and Seattle and blah, blah, blah. He's going to go after these big cities that are having issues and telling people that it's because Democrat leadership has allowed it to happen. Joe Biden's going to go after Trump about, the fact that his domestic policies haven't been the greatest, that he ignites the far right and agitators and stuff like that. And then Trump's probably going to go after Antifa and shit.
I think when he shoots his mouth off, though, he's not thinking about what he is like when they've asked him in Charlottesville to fucking to openly.
Oh, that's gonna come up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's gonna come up. The animals story when he was talking about MS-13, and then it was said that it was everyone misconstrued to say that he was talking about immigrants in the South when he was talking about MS-13. The same thing with Charlottesville when you did talk about.
It said there's good people on both sides.
Right, yeah, and he said that, and you're like, fuck, dude. And then the context of what he said it when it was, in other words, there's going to be so many little sound bites like that. Now, he did just make, which fucking A, he made the KKK and Antifa. He made him he labeled them as terrorist organization. Let's go get some scalps.
They're in a bill to do that.
Oh, well, yeah, let's go get some scalps. Fucking A.
Hey, I'm all for it. Like,
yeah.
I think this, when it comes to race and violence in our cities, I think the smartest thing he could do, we also have to remember when it comes to race, he's also, he had the justice bill that went through. Right. Which was, it was a while ago, but I think they're going to bring that back up, which was the first time that a justice legislation has really gone through in the longest time ever. And then also the fact that he just, and both Antifa and the KKK are terrorist organizations, and I think the KKK is terrorist organizations, and I'm waiting for the first fucker to jump on the comments and say they're not.
Right. Same here.
Run away.
Yeah. That's a good point. Kaz brought up about having another debate with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan said he'd give him 4 hours. Well, love you, Joe, but we would give him more. We've run this train for almost 6 hours. It was 6.5 hours.
Whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be more than happy to assist and we'll do piggybacking and caveating and all this other stuff to do some joint venture with you, Joe Rogan, when it comes to the debate. But like you said, like Kaz said, it's a good deal to talk about that and have him come on. But with Joe Rogan, everyone's getting mad because Joe Rogan is even said that, and everyone doesn't like Joe Rogan because of what he says. You're trying to get an answer from somebody who's running for office in the political side of the house. I want, somebody asked me about hate speech. What was it, last week? And I said, I want motherfuckers to, using the platform. If you use Joe Rogan, then that means Joe Rogan's using the platform to do this. No. I want that hate speech. I want to hear the hate speech. I want to know who the assholes are, like he said. He even said that himself. He wants to know who the assholes are. That's why free speech is free speech. The whole...
Or that Elon Musk gets as high as the rest of us.
Right, exactly. But my point is that, but he has a point, is that if you hear the speech that you don't like and you know it's fucking hate speech, then those are the consequences of their actions and what their speech are, then let it fucking handle it. But don't just start squelching my speech.
Themselves.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what it is. I see it the same way. When he brought up that point, I was like, yeah, I can see that point too. Have him come on there, and then there you go. Have him come on, and whatever. You don't have to like the fucking moderator. You don't have to like, but we got to hear what they want to say. I think those two comments right there, going back to the Charlottesville, going back to KKK, going back to whatever. I think those are the ones that are the MS-13 stuff. I think that they're going to try to keep writing that, and it's not the case.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, but that's old. That's old previous election shit. That's probably not going to go well because they've already had a lot of African American and Latino supporters on his side. You know what I mean? So
don't forget, Biden's had his own gas. Remember when he was talking to the Hispanic kind of pack, and he was talking to them via, I think it was virtual or whatnot, where he said, unlike the black community, except with notable exceptions, and paraphrasing for records, even though I'm pretty damn close. I'm pretty damn close, but I won't say I'm quoting him word for word, but paraphrasing, just so no one comes legally, where he said, paraphrase of course, that unlike the black community, which is except for no exceptions, the Hispanic community is extremely diverse. And I had a buddy of mine who cannot stand Trump, way more than I can, and he went, "What?" He said, "What that fucker say?"
So.
Because I had to send it to him because I was like, I like sending things to him to see his reaction. And
right.
He's like, "What did he say?" I'm like, "Hey," I said, "just so y'all know, you're just black. Like you're not from anywhere. You're from no country. Like
together we march."
He's actually from Ghana. He's second generation.
He played Despacito from freaking saying at the Hispanic.
Kamala Harris went to a Puerto Rican restaurant. I think it was Puerto Rican restaurant or Cuban restaurant in order to rock and to pander his shit. Like
he played Despacito from his phone.
And he's like, "Oh, so I'm not diverse?" And I was like, "Apparently not. Apparently you're just black." That's what Joe Biden just literally. I'm gonna say Joe Biden. That's what Joe Biden meant. Y'all are just black. Hispanics, y'all come from Guatemala, Venezuela, Argentina, Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
Black folks are just black. That's
yeah,
but
what he said.
That's not what he said for legal reasons.
Right. Well, he said he
sounded like that.
He played. It was at a campaign event that was celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, and he's like, "Cool, I have something to say. Hang on." And he pulls his phone out and starts playing. He starts playing Despacito, right?
Which is a shit song.
Which is.
Like all the Hispanics are like, dude, you couldn't find a mariachi band. Pander to the fullest, man.
But to say he should have had Despacito. He should have had some mariachis. Had some reggaeton guys on there.
A mariachi band. He should have played Selena.
He should have had a sombrero coming out. That's what are you doing?
Man, if that man would have walked up there and played Selena, he might have got some votes. But instead, he played Despacito, where all these old fuckers are just like, "Shut the fuck up."
It was like, why would you even play that?
I just like that song.
Well, I don't like that song anymore. Don't pander to me with that because there's a lot of individuals that is not the song that's representative of Hispanics or Latinos. Not that.
Play Selena. Fucking event.
You can play both. You can play both. But that's a good point, Gwatch. Did I say that right? Is that Gage or Gwatch? I don't want to. I don't want to mispronounce your name there because,
Guacamole.
Yeah, I don't want to mess it up. Joel Sorensen needs to call everybody out.
And Gage, we're going to call you that until you correct us. Phonetics would help. He did say, talking about, his kids growing up in a jungle or something like that.
A racial jungle.
He's made a racial jungle. Yeah, he's made some gaffes himself when it comes to race. Joe Biden is not as much as that's why if you notice, that's why the Democrats aren't touting him as the savior for minorities and folks, because he's already said and done things that are like, Donald Trump says stupid shit, but Joe Biden's actually done shit to hurt, the minority family, as well as say that he doesn't want his kid growing up in a racial jungle, which is like, holy shit, dude. And I get it. Well, that was so long ago, blah, blah. I'm like, bullshit. If you can't let, exactly. You can't let things from long ago stand for one person, but not another, because then y'all owe, like, Kavanaugh a fuck off apology.
Yeah, yo, Kavanaugh, and you owe D. Treasy. If you're saying, oh, that was just so long a time ago, you can't hold it against them. Nah, all cards on the table, man. If you want to hold that against D. Treasy and Kavanaugh, then there you go. He could have played like Cucaracha. Could have been worse.
He's gonna end up as
yeah, exactly that. Recruiter Times. Joe got 47 years of political dirt to dig through. He's got plenty of stuff to dig through. We got plenty of stuff.
So then the last subject they're gonna hit on, which will be an interesting one, is the integrity of the election. As we all know, Donald Trump has been going hard in the paint about mail-in ballots. There have been reports that, of course, a lot of the reports come from like the Daily Caller and stuff like that. So
I've already voted 15 times.
Yes. Just kidding. That people are getting multiple ballots sent to them. That ballots that are military ballots end up being in the trash. So there's a lot of interesting parts. That, and according to, there was a government source that said pretty much the Chinese don't want Trump to win, but the Russians do. So that they fear meddling from other countries. So it'll be interesting, that, and I'm pretty sure if Joe Biden wins the election, will there be a transfer, an easy transfer of power? Which, I won't lie, I kind of thought Donald Trump's was like, there won't be because I'm going to win.
Yeah, he shouldn't have said that.
Like, I know he shouldn't have said that. He should have said in the event that I do not win re-election. At least Mitch McConnell came out there and said, "No, fuckers,"
But when Hillary Clinton made it worse, though, when she said that there's they don't concede. That's what made it worse. Had she,
like, fuck off.
Yeah, it's almost like some of these older politicians that are involved in politics are like old generals that try to fucking influence. They're like generals that try to influence policy. You know what I mean? I assist in other units. We assist other units in showboating and showing off their wares and cheerleading for them, and we bring veterans we bring personalities here that appreciates veterans and who they are and who we are and what we do and what we've done. That's what we're all about. But for me to all of a sudden start injecting myself into military policy, well, take it back. We were like WTF moments, so we kind of help out in military policy, but we're not talking about us. we're not running for office. We're not pushing. We have had offers, believe it or not. We have had offers to push the agendas of specific parties on all sides, not just one side, all sides. And we've stayed above board by not participating with them, because this is not what we are. But a previous person who's been running, I have laundry. A previous person who's been running for office that's butthurt because they lost. Isn't there don't they do like a long walk or some shit? Isn't there like don't they do like isn't there like, you saw the old Judge Dredd, right? They take a book of justice and their weapons and their knowledge and they walk away. They open the gates of Mega City and they walk away. They're to dispense justice to the people who don't have any go, bye. Go on the talk circuit, go whatever. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. President Trump should have swallowed his pride when it came to that question. Exactly that.
Granted, yeah, he should have definitely just been like, and when Mitch McConnell came out with the right answer, like, yes, if there will be easy transfer of power, There will be a president, and like pretty much was like where they didn't say we're gonna lose, but shit's gonna continue to go on January 12th, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And so I mean, so you've had those. I look at those six categories, and I see Trump, as long as Trump stays mostly on script and hits Joe when he can, which he will.
Oh, he's gonna.
I think Trump could end up. I think Trump will do better against Biden than Trump did against Hillary.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
Hillary
it's elder abuse.
Almost out of his league, where Biden is not so much.
It's going to be elder abuse. It is going to be sad and cringy. It's going to be. I'm not going to watch it because I'm watching Pop Culture Warrior. Stay tuned for Pop Culture Warrior tomorrow at 2000 Eastern Standard Time, and Clark Gregg's going to be on. But that's just me. I'm gonna be loyal to the team here and watch Clark Gregg hanging out with us and jump in the comments and shoot the shit, so I can just say, hey, we're here. Let's do this, but not this. Nah, this debate right here, it's gonna be elder abuse. You see how he is you see how he is spontaneous out on the campaign trail, like that one guy confronted him, that union worker confronted him with the gun issues, with the Second Amendment issues, and he got in his face. Or the one time where he got in somebody else's face and he wouldn't stop jabbering. I'm gonna tell you what, he's going to exactly. Joe begins to eat himself. Trump should just lay off and let Joe do exactly that. Cause right there on the point. He's not gonna be able to just defend himself either, because some of these questions are gonna be look at the questions that are being done right now. He gets asked a question and he rambles on. Fuck. I mean, we get off track when we talk. We're discussing some of these subjects, but damn, dude. I mean, not to the point where I'm like, oh, what? For what? He's gonna, like you said, guy, you're right. Cause is right. He's gonna eat himself up, big time. I mean, unless it gets stopped or there's some sort of time hack or something like that that's gonna have him do it. Again, he's gonna fuck himself up, unless he pulls something out, out of his ass or something like that. That's gonna be, but whatever. Biden's son, just his son, accepted millions from Russia and didn't project. Didn't project. Oh yeah, right. You know what? Project Veritas. Did you hear about that, Flash? Project Veritas, finding out all those ballots and stuff. Yeah, vote siphoning in Minnesota. That's right. Is what's her name? Ilhan Omar's freaking. That's right, dude. Yeah, good point. That's a good point. Man can't say the pledge. That's right. That just happened like just in the last 24 hours, right? They found a bunch of freaking ballots in somebody's car or something like that, or they're do some purpose.
There's reports of finding ballots in a lot of places, and they've had a common theme, which a lot of people after the last election they're like, well, I don't care if I go to jail, I can't have Donald Trump as president again.
So do you think Project Veritas does over, because everyone's like, oh, screw them, they're fake news, or they're this. Do you honestly think that they have? I mean, is it illegal? Just like no big deal. Oh, we want to talk about tax documents, right? Just because they obtained it legally doesn't mean that they were authorized to get it. So do you think that the voter fraud that Project Veritas has exposed, that has these alleged ties to Ilhan Omar, and it's video footage, you just look on their stuff that shows a ballot harvester. His name is Liban Mohammed, and he's speaking English and Somali. Somalinga is the proper method. It's not, you can say Somali as well, but do you think that it's gonna freaking hang on, I'm gonna drop that link into your chat there, Flash, so you can see what I'm talking about. Everyone's having an issue with Project Veritas and what they do, because they've done stuff for Planned Parenthood that everyone freaks the fuck out about. They did stuff same here for this Liban Mohammed freaking ballot harvester. According to Omar Jamal, chief of the Somali watchdog group, people like Liban Mohammed are paid to collect absentee ballots from senior citizens in the immigrant community. And then Jamal outlines a ballot harvesting scheme conducted on behalf of Minnesota's Democratic Farmer Party, which Representative Omar has become a major power broker. So everybody knows about it. Everyone's saying, has this been given to the Justice Department? Is everyone like into this? Did anybody?
I'd like to see more of this. I mean, I know Donald Trump has come out and said that there's different scams and stuff like that. How his campaign was like spied on by the FBI, and potentially the Obama administration, at least allegedly. I mean, everyone's playing dirty, so this does not shock me. I'm more surprised. I'll be waiting. When did this come out? 27th. Yeah, I'm waiting to see if anyone else picks this up.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's pretty fucked up if it's true.
Right.
Well, it's illegal.
Yeah, it's straight up illegal. I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna. This is why people are afraid of doing their ballots mail in or absentee because of this.
That's why I'm going in person. I heard someone once said if I can go to the gas station or go to Costco or something like that, I can go vote. Yep. Like it's not going to be anything different. Last time I went, the most people around me were the fuckers from the Democrats and Republican parties. They're like, "Oh, do you know about this candidate? Do you know about this candidate?" Outside of that,
but it's that. I was going to ask you that. Do you think that's voter intimidation when there's members of those types of groups?
Feels like it.
Did you feel? Well, let's talk about that. Did you feel at all threatened that they wanted to talk to you and wanted to get an answer out of you who you're going to vote for and ask you why and shit like that? How did they approach you? What was the scenario?
It was more annoying than threatening. I'm mean looking, so grr. No, I'm kidding. But I got there and already I'm like, I remember pulling up, this is for the election, was it maybe last November? I remember pulling up and already I'm like trying to find a parking spot that's like, which will get me away from the most people. So I finally I got into a parking spot, me and my wife were walking up and, first it was the Democrat folks who they just kind of like looked at me like, no, not even worth it. But they kind of like, you should check out this candidate, that candidate. And they kind of like, they got up close to me. And I remember going, I appreciate it. I know who I'm voting for. And then the Republicans were the same way. They came up, oh, you should. They apparently, because, of my skin complexion and my bald head, they assumed that they assumed or they're just like, oh yeah, brother, you got the, you know who you're gonna vote for, does it? And I'm like, yeah, I know who to vote for. Thank you very much. And moved on. And then luckily got inside and everyone inside is like perfect. Like the place that I voted from last time, which is the same place because I checked my registration. I'm so good. Were super nice. Everyone was doing their job and that's it. No one talked about anything other than, here's your ballot. Here's this. You drop it in that when you're done. Have a great day. And I was like, awesome. But the people outside were annoying as shit. Like I was like, oh.
Now were they holding?
If I didn't believe my civic duty, I would have been like, no. Fuck
were they like waving their flags of their specific candidates that they wanted to vote or highlight, and they had like a representative there, like, hey, you need to vote for her? Were they like USAREC when they were trying to bug you to join the army? This is why you need to join the army.
They kind of were. Not super like mean intimidated, but like super happy, like, hey, you should vote for this person and you should vote for this person, and we need but I will say that I did talk to somebody because it was for something very local, and I hadn't made my mind up about because I tried to do my research as much as possible, but I didn't make up my mind about a spot that was on a very low locality, and there was a person there who was representing a teacher. I think it was for school board or something like that. And, and I was like, he kind of talked to me about it. I was like, perfect. And I went and voted for her because I was like, that sounds exactly what I want. I want a teacher on the school board or whatever board it was, because it's like, that's exactly what I want. And it worked out. But everyone else was just kind of annoying. Independents usually are pretty chill.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It was like Shipwreck and Heath are like 100 yards from the limit for the poll of any political persuasion of any kind. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. I thought the same thing too. I thought there was a specific limit that you can only you can stump for your specific candidate. I know I've seen some where they've had signs all over the place near it, and they just like exactly that. Well, I've seen it like 50 yards is the max, and then it goes normal. But my biggest thing is that I personally don't think that they should be within a couple city blocks of a voting area. I don't think at all, because it really is a one of those you really are trying to sway somebody who's probably dead set in their ways, and it's almost like giving the other opponent, giving the other person an advantage, and it might be somebody who's probably like Joe Biden. I want to say they're not all there. They might be easily swayed or something, like easily persuaded. And maybe their mind's not completely set, and they're like going to vote for him and stuff like that. And then that one person, and then they have the exit polling after that. Dude,
that's annoying too.
That's annoying too. Who'd you vote for?
None of your damn business.
Yeah.
Go on.
Who'd you vote for? But I'm just. Go ahead.
Speaking of polls, though, so something that's kind of a big deal ahead of our first debate. Biden is holding only a narrow lead over Donald Trump. Granted, I know we've talked about the validity of polls when it comes to the president. Polls only belong in a strip club or in a firehouse. Outside of that, I don't really care about polls. But presidential nominee Joe Biden only holds a small one according to Harvard Capps Harris poll, which was released exclusively to The Hill one day before, today. 47% are likely voters would vote for Biden if the election were held today, while 45% said they would back Trump. Now, the survey marks a 3-point improvement for Trump and a 2-point decline for Biden in the last poll that was conducted in August. Biden also led with likely voters who said that they were unsure on who they were going to vote for, with 52% saying they were leaning towards supporting the former vice president and at the ballot box, while 48% leaning towards voting for Trump. Quote, the poll shows the race is closing to 2 points with likely voters and 4 points with leaners, as the president shows improvement in the economy that dipped below double digit unemployment and hit the themes of curbing unrest, on which he's gained, said the Harvard Capps Harris poll director Mark Penn. Some of the stuff we've talked about already when it comes to talking points for him. I guess the best way to talk about it is talking points. That he's got those talking points and things are on the uptick, which is now closing. Now, I think going into this debate, Joe Biden's going to get exposed. Now, I don't mean like exposed like a pedophile or exposed to be a crook, but I think. Well, I don't want people, I know this crowd. I don't want people to get a connotation of what I'm talking about being exposed. But when we talk about, shut up. Donald Trump's been saying, now it's coming out saying that I will strongly demand to be demanding a drug test for sleepy Joe Biden prior to the, oh dang, it just went away. Prior to the debate.
What's a P-test?
I mean, Joe Biden has messed up, and during interviews and stuff like that. I don't remember the last time he's actually done a debate type of thing. It's been some years, and apparently he's having issues. When I say being exposed, I mean he's going to roll up there, and he's going to I think he's probably doing the most work right now, because I think everyone is worried that, and I think that's why Nancy Pelosi said he shouldn't debate Trump because it's beneath him, and we already know what we're going to know. I think that's what they're worried about, is Joe Biden having a mental slip up.
I think he will.
Donald Trump can just sit there and capitalize on.
Yep,
which
he will. He will totally. He is a presidential debate, and I guarantee it. That's where you really want to win. It used to be where it was a good debate. That was it. But now I don't recall just until recently in recent presidential elections where they're now saying, oh, he won the debate or she won the debate. It's like, what the fuck? I never ever remember them until just recently them calling a who's a winner of a debate. So if we want to go with that mentality, he's going to destroy him. He's
And according to last year, when Hillary Clinton won every debate, didn't end up well for her at the end, though.
Right. They were just pandering to her. That's another thing too. But I don't think like you're saying, I don't think Joe's going to be able to fucking last. He's going to get set off. Something's going to set him off, and you're going to see him go off. It's going to be. I'm sorry. I'm a man that comes from the world of creating dumpster fires.
Bastards.
Yeah, and I like the grumpy old men and shit going back and forth talking shit to each other. It's gonna be a dumpster fire to enjoy, to watch.
No, it's not. It's gonna be shitty, and I bet you, I'll even say right now, if Joe Biden has a really bad debate, there won't be a second or third.
You don't think so?
He might do the town hall because I think that would bode better for him. He's a little less
right.
Like I find him to be a little less intimidating. So maybe he'll kind of play off to like, just don't let him be in sniffing range. But he's a little less. I think he'd be a little less intimidating than Donald Trump.
Right.
In a town setting. So I think that might go for him. But I don't see a third debate if it goes bad. If it goes bad tomorrow night.
No, you're right. Exactly that. He's got a temper, man. I'm telling you, he is going to go off. He's going to go nuts, and Trump's going to say one thing. That's it, and that's going to be the catalyst for him going off. And then he's going to get so worked up, he's going to be speaking gibberish. I'm telling you, he's going to start yapping. He's going to start being incoherent. I guarantee it. Trump is going to get his ass so wound the hell up that you're going to be like, fuck, dude, just shut up. You know what I mean? Just stick. This is, I think, where he's got to stick to the strip. I mean, he's got to. He's not going to fare well at all. Detrice is going to fucking destroy him, and he knows it. He's even taunting him right now. He says he needs a shot in the ass of some medicine or some shit or something like that. He said that during a campaign rally. I think he's in a campaign rally right now, right? Isn't Detrice on a kind of campaign rally? When was the last time that we saw Biden stumping already? I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen nothing yet.
Excuse me. Woo.
But there's an app. There's an app right now that gives Trump Biden debate viewers a chance to win cash. We're running some squares. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good. Wait, hang on. Look at the chat, dude. Look at this right here. Kaz just posted it right now, or just recently while we're yapping back and forth. App gives Trump Biden debate viewers a chance to win cash. So the first presidential debate of 2020, Fox Bet Super 6 is giving viewers a new way to engage in the discourse to put some cash in their pockets.
If you couldn't win money because the March Madness was canceled, now you can.
Now you can, right? Yeah. Will they fist bump? It's an ongoing thing. There's some possible questions. If a lucky user answers correctly, they could win cash winnings from a $25,000 prize pool across top performers of the upcoming contests. That's kind of cool, dude.
What movie is that from? I feel like this is from like the Running Man.
The Running Man, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Pick who will kill Arnold Schwarzenegger's character.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And they had audience-winning prizes too.
For fuck's sake.
So there's some of the possibilities. Fox Bet Super 6 has already given away more than $1.4 million since it first launched in 2019 in September, primarily to winners who have made correct predictions of its NFL cost. See, there you go, man. We haven't even done the freaking sports page. See, there you go. That's NFL shit. That's loot for.
You know what they should have at these debates? They need to have a box of like 10 chairs or something of hecklers. Just like, oh no, bring it down to 3 or 4. I'd say 3. I think.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe
good hecklers.
Yeah.
Kind of like reminding like the old guys from the Muppets.
Yeah, exactly.
Give them bourbon and just go speak your mind.
Exactly.
And then every time like, man, he looks fat today.
It's like,
oh, there goes Joe Biden. He's about to fall asleep again. Don't let him sniff you, Chris Wallace.
Exactly.
Get too close.
Right.
Like, just let people heckle him and just see how it goes.
I want to see this Cash App though. I want to see if anybody actually. I'll be honest with you. I don't give a shit about an app because I'm going to be watching our interview with Pop Culture Warrior with Clark Gregg, the member of the Avengers and the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I'm sorry. I'm a little bit loyal right now to the cause. So let's do the sports page right quick, and we'll close it up.
The 5-minute sports page. Okay, so
no, you can you can go over a little bit.
Are playing, the Chiefs are playing the Ravens on Monday Night Football. It's 27. See that it went away. They're at halftime right now, and it's 27-10. See, I was close. 27-10 at halftime. Both teams are 2-0, but Mahomes is man, he's on fire. I've been kind of watching it as we've been talking. Not too crazy for football, except a Atlanta Falcons player that you sent me today. Atlanta Falcons player today has COVID, which is I think one of the first in football.
Right.
But, currently, right now, it's not a huge threat, but it is a bit bigger. It's not a huge threat because there's only one person, but because they're in a wide. I mean, there's so many people on a football team and working in a football team and stuff like that potentially that could spread and become dangerous. But the NHL and NBA have done a really good job with their bubbles in order to keep COVID exposures down to a minimum. So awesome job. Baseball had a ton at the beginning of the season, which started in like June. But now they've had like maybe one, if not any, cases recently. And so I don't want to talk about football so much, other than some noticeable ones, other than San Francisco. The beat-up, destroyed San Francisco, still destroying the Giants, so that's good for them as they're waiting for some of their players to come back. Chicago, Atlanta was up on Chicago going into the half, but as we know, when Atlanta has a comfortable lead, they will lose it, and they did to the Chicago Bears 30-26. The Bills are legit, looking at them 3-0. Even though, damn, now I can see, and I had it, and there's my scores. The Bills had a great game, even though they almost botched it because, you let people come back. It was the Rams. That's right. There we go. The Rams were getting destroyed. I mean, they had scored 21 points by the half. The Rams had scored 3. Then the Rams in the third quarter came back with 14 more points, and the 15 points in the fourth quarter. But you give the Bills a chance, and they took it. Going down the field in the fourth quarter, scoring in like the last minute and some change, and they ended up winning 35-32, which was great. The Browns 2-1. This is like the first time in ever. I think it's like 15 years or something like that, where they actually have above 500 record. They usually have a 500 or below. They now have above. They're 2-1, beating the Washington sports team 34-20, which is crazy because this Washington team came out of the gate and they looked pretty good. Titans beat the Vikings 31-30. Patriots beating the Raiders 36-20, making both teams 2-1. The Bengals and the Eagles, fucking I hate them both. Both 0-2 and now 1 with a tie at 23 points. So they both suck so bad they couldn't even win. They could tie. The Steelers beat the Texans 28-21. Colts looking great, making the other horrible New York team, the Jets, whipping their ass 7. Panthers beating the Chargers 21-16. Buccaneers, even though there were some South Park cutouts at the Denver Broncos
dude,
game.
that was hilarious, man. That was awesome.
Mess with Tom Brady and everything. They got their ass kicked 28-10 by the Buccaneers, who are now 2-1 with Tom Brady throwing 3 touchdowns and for almost just 3 yards shy of 300 yards. Lions beating the Cardinals, which giving the Lions their first win over the Cardinals, even though Kyler Murray was 2 touchdowns, 270 yards, and looked really good. Adrian Peterson, you haven't heard that name in a while, 22 carries and 75 yards for the Lions. Seahawks beating the Cowgirls. Yes! Seahawks go 3-0. Cowboys 1-2 because the NFC East is garbage. And in another great matchup, the Saints lost to the Packers, who are now 3-0. Saints are 1-2, even though Alvin Kamara was just running rapid. I think he got me something like 40-something points for fantasy football. And then, so let's move on because we got only a couple. We're doing good. And tomorrow, another great thing that starts is tomorrow, baseball playoffs start. They did the 60-game season because they wanted to make sure they could keep on schedule, a normal schedule for the playoffs. Now, the playoff platform is a little bit different. They've added 2 teams. They've added 2 teams for the American League and National League. So what they did was the top 2 teams for each division got in, and the top 2 wild cards got in, and they went from there. So the seeding was crazy. Even yesterday, there were 64 possibilities just for the American League alone of how the seeding could work out depending on who won and who lost. But let's break down exactly where they're at. The number 1 seed goes to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sorry, I'm still in football mode. Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay's just having a good day of it.
The Tampa Bay Patriots.
That way. Tampa Bay Rays are number 1 seed, and they're going to face the number 8 seed Toronto Blue Jays, who just snuck in there. But hey, all you have to do is get in, so they have a possibility. So they're going to face, starting tomorrow, they will face Tampa Bay Rays. The number 4 Cleveland Indians will go up against the number 5 New York Yankees. The number 3 Twins will go up against the number 6 Houston Astros, who almost didn't make it in. I guess it's a lot harder to hit the ball when you don't know what's coming. And the Oakland Athletics at number 2 versus the Chicago White Sox, again just squeaking in, but they've had quite a bad losing streak. So they just snuck in. At one point, they were the 2nd team in the American League, and now they've fallen down to the 7th, so they'll go against the Oakland Athletics. In the National League, the Dodgers versus the Dodgers are number 1 going against the number 8 Milwaukee Brewers. The number 4 San Diego Padres, who are looking on fire, just the same way the Dodgers are, go against the number 5
they're in the wild card right now, though, right? I mean, they're in the wild card position. The Dodgers are.
No, yeah, the Dodgers play the wild card, pretty much the last seed.
Yeah.
So number 1 versus number 8.
Right.
Number 4 San Diego Padres versus number 5 St. Louis Cardinals. The number 3 Chicago Cubs versus the number 6 Miami Marlins, who got in because they beat the Yankees like 2 out of 3. Who aren't hot, and I don't expect them to get past the Cubs, but hey, they're in. And then the number 2 Atlanta Braves versus the number 7 Cincinnati Reds. It's been a long time since we said the Cincinnati Reds are in the playoffs.
I was about to say, yeah.
All those games, I believe all those games kick off tomorrow. Let me click. Let's find out. So tomorrow we got Houston versus Minnesota, Chicago. So Houston at Minnesota, Chicago at Oakland, Toronto at Tampa, and New York at Cleveland. And then on Wednesday we have Cincinnati, Atlanta, Houston at Minnesota, Miami at Chicago, Chicago at Oakland, Toronto at Tampa, St. Louis at San Diego, New York at Cleveland, and Milwaukee at the Dodger Stadium. I think it's going to come. Honestly, I think the Dodgers I think the Dodgers are going to end up in the World Series again. In the American League, I'm not sure.
I think so too.
The Rays have been looking really good, and I would not put it past them.
No, the Rays blow it all the time. Actually, I take that back. The Rays blow it all the time when they play against the Rangers. They do better when they're not. I'm serious. It's almost.
I don't see the Houston Astros making it. And,
no.
I see it coming down to, you've got. Let's see. Let's go back to the other screen so I can give you accurate, because it's a bracket. So my prediction going into the next round, you got Tampa Bay. As much as the Yankees will get past the Indians. Will they though? Maybe. We'll see. They keep playing like they were last week. No, but they play like the week before. They should be fine. So I think it'll be Tampa versus the Yankees, and I'll say that because I'm a Yankees fan. But if I'm being realistic, I think the Indians might take it.
I can see them. I can see them taking it.
I guess the Twins go over the Houston Astros, and the Oakland Athletics over the White Sox. Honestly, I'm saying you got an Oakland versus Los Angeles World Series coming up. I'm just going to put that out there right now. I think it's Oakland versus. Oakland's got a scrappy team. This ain't Moneyball anymore. Like they got a good team, and they're firing on all cylinders. I mean, we'll see. But that covers everything for Flash's sports page on the Monday edition.
Sports page. We need to have
a little bit more time. And next week we'll be able to talk, hopefully, because I think these are 3 games.
Yeah,
I think
3 games.
First only 3 games, so we'll give you some analysis of those first matches and go from there. Hopefully, no one got busted up, by their with all the injury bugs hitting the NFL. For their fantasy football team. And
didn't the Lakers take their division too?
Look, the Lakers are doing really well. What was it? Doc Rivers got fired from the Clippers since the Clippers got kicked out of the NBA Finals.
Why did they get kicked out?
Well, They lost.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a scandal going on.
We'll take a second. So we got Los Angeles Lakers versus the Miami Heat. First game is on the 30th at Lakers. Is that the finals? Holy shit. I think that's the actual finals.
Oh, they actually won.
I didn't
won.
realize we were already there. You know.
Oh, we really were there? I didn't think so either. Shit.
I haven't really been keeping, and I feel bad because you know.
Let me look this up.
Basketball's supposed to be done in like July.
Yeah.
Or in August. So I'm not really that, and the same thing with hockey. Like,
yeah.
I'm still.
Yeah. Okay. So they play tomorrow. They play tomorrow against the Heat.
The 30th. So correct. Wednesday.
I'm sorry, Wednesday. Yeah.
Tomorrow. Yeah, Wednesday 9 p.m. You've got the Los Angeles Lakers, who are number 1 seed, versus the Miami Heat, number 5. Lakers are looking good. I'm thinking I think it's gonna come down to Game 7, and I think the Heat are gonna take it.
Whoa, are you really?
Right now, I think the Heat will take it.
Okay. Oh no, it's balanced. They've been pretty close. They've
No, but in the regular season meetings, the Lakers have beat the Heat 95-80 and 113-110. So
that's what I'm saying. It'll be close. You're right. I think there's going to be some closer there. The last time they met up was in.
I think the Heat are a better team than, and I think they have a deeper bench than the Lakers do. But LeBron's hungry. He wants it because his hair's falling out. I think he's ready to retire.
His hair's falling out.
His hairline's worse than mine.
Okay, I was going to talk about his gaming, his game, but
James is not immune to hair loss. Love that man. I think he's great for sports. I think he's great for basketball. He's a great role model. But it's bad hair. Bad hair.
Oh man. Well, hey, thanks for the sports page. Real quick, I'm just going to give you what's happening this week. Tomorrow. Hey, do we know who we have going on tomorrow? What do we have going on tomorrow? Tomorrow we have a member of the Marvel Cinematic Universe coming on to Pop Culture Warrior tomorrow at 2100 Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be Clark Gregg, also known as he is Phil Coulson in the Avengers, Thor, Iron.
Shit, like I really want something signed.
Yeah, I'm about to say we should get something signed or like that. Captain Marvel, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And there's already questions. Go on Pop Culture Warriors page right freaking now and submit your questions to CQ so you can get your questions asked. It might be because CQ is going to have his questions too. But make sure you tune in tomorrow. It's a big event for us. This is our guests are getting. You notice our guest men are freaking. We're front desk and CQ and.
I want to know who his favorite Marvel superhero is.
Ooh, maybe you should ask him.
I'm gonna call her right now. Like,
I already submitted my question.
Is it Captain America like you said in the movies? Because I totally fanboy after Captain America.
I think you should drop it in Pop Culture Warrior's inbox. I already told Pop Culture Warrior that my question was, did he train with real agents and did anything to prepare as Agent Coulson? So that's my question. If he trained with any real agents and stuff like that, or did he go through the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. training academy? I can't wait. If I get a question to ask him, I'm like, haha, I got my question asked. But I'm pretty sure Pop Culture Warrior will be able to, if you just drop it in his inbox or comment on there on his Twitterage, he'll ask some questions, man. He's on it. He's on it. So we are freaking fangirling like crazy. And then on Thursday, we have Command Sergeant Major Philip Blaisdell. He is the CSM for U.S. Army Alaska. This is the last moment. This is not going to be an informal thing. Shooting the shit. Sergeants, Majors, and Spanky, we're just going to shoot the shit and talk about Army stuff. We're also going to talk about just what the hell is in Alaska anyways. We had Command Sergeant Major Piliot from the 25th Infantry Division, and then one of his first sergeants came on to talk about the Jungle Operations Training Center. So why not? Let's talk about Alaska. I didn't know they had some schools there too. So this is going to be a pretty packed event. We have a senior enlisted advisor, which is a headliner for Sergeant's Time always when we have senior military leaders on board. And then we have, of course, Clark Gregg. Hey, did I say we're going to have Clark Gregg coming on? I'm just telling you right now, we're going to have Clark Gregg. Dude, I'm pumped. I'm so proud of everybody. This is all awesome. I'm like fangirling like crazy. I'm going to be like, I want to call in. I don't want to call in. I want to. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna stand by. I'm gonna, of course, be prepping. Me and CQ gonna be prepping stuff tomorrow to make sure everything's.
He's got to make some kind of stinger for us or something.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's a good idea too. We should tell him.
I'm Agent Coulson.
Yeah, I'm Agent Phil Coulson, and I'm an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and you're listening to blah blah blah. We were gonna try to do some stuff to kind of hype it up Hollywood, but we didn't want to get the legal team after us and have the judge, yell at me for doing stuff that. Because we've done some stuff that have been pretty on edge on the legal side of the house when we do some of our stingers and videos and stuff. So I didn't want Disney to come after us.
So I've seen him in interviews before, and he's a really cool guy. So
he is.
Like,
oh yeah.
Super excited. Like it's one of those things where it's like, man, you want people, people on screen one thing, and then they turn out to be complete douchebags. Except Robert Downey Jr. He's exactly the same way on camera that he is.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So
he's just the same, but.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm very excited because this guy's really awesome.
Yeah. So. I know exactly. Anyways, so don't forget, tune in. We have Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday shows. This is the Monday edition of Myself and Flash. We have, of course, Pop Culture Warrior with CQ Michael Cataskeel, and of course his Unpop Culture Warrior Radar, his co-host. And then we have myself and Spanky for Sergeant's Time on Thursdays, and then on Friday we have Kicking It with Kaz. With Kaz and Pookie, also known as the WTF Godzilla with a beard. So, make sure you tune in, share, like, and follow all of our platforms. We're on 14 different freaking platforms when we're broadcasting or podcasting. So take your pick. Pick on Facebook. Pick on freaking YouTube. We're all over the place, and we are expanding our footprint. So, once again, thank you guys and gals so much for listening to us. And if you don't got anything for me...
getting these guests, I might have to switch shows.
Oh yeah. Oh, now you want to switch shows? No, because see,
I might have to do Mondays and Tuesdays.
Well, see, the thing is that the thing is that CQ's having so many guests coming on. We might end up having a guest. I mean, he's not going to hog all the guests. So I just might have some. I'm gonna.
So we couldn't book you on the Culture Warrior.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah,
we have a Plan B. It's called the Monday edition.
We have exactly. We have a Monday edition show that like that. So
we have a runner-up.
Yeah, we have.
Not as good as CQ, but
yeah. Well, no, if there's military veteran stuff, they could come on to Sergeant's Time, or they can come on to Monday edition too. CQ already knows that he can't hog all the fucking guests. So I'm looking at you, CQ.
I'm not getting CQ any more guests anymore.
I know. I'm looking at him right now, and he's like going. He's all hyped.
He hit his quota for like awesomeness. He's got to share the wealth.
He's got to share it, man.
That's off the radio. Let's shave that goatee thing he's got going on. Love you, CQ.
Love you, CQ. You guys, thank you guys for joining and shots, and y'all have a good night. See you. Shots.
Hey, this is SEAC retired John Wayne Troxel. You're listening to WTF Nation Radio, the station of choice for all of the badass MFers on the planet.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. And now they say say that they've discovered life up there on Mars. So let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport now, sit back, relax, and watch us through the Hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planets of America. Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now we'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. The critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum, ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.